Amorim allegedly stated that Rashford, Garnacho, Sancho, and Anthony are to be left out of the US tour. So let's talk transfers. Let's go. Welcome to Ball and Ballers. I'm Z, and we have another show for you today. Hopefully this show will be good. I'm a bit tired. I was DJing last night at a friend's party. Didn't get back till late. So, yeah, I'm pretty much exhausted this morning. And I've got a little one to look after in that room on his tablet watching SpongeBob. But let's get into it right now. So let's begin with Anthony. So there's interest from Real Betis, but they want a joint ownership. They offered 20 million for joint ownership. I've never really seen that before. But Anthony is willing to take a pay cut to go there. But joint ownership, why would you want joint ownership? Why can't you just clone it and pay over 2 years like we did with Cunha? We're paying over 3 years. So take 20 million this year, 20 million next year. It's done. Unless you got issues paying the wages, in which case he's willing to take a pay cut. I think he said up to 30%, maybe more. But 30% he said he's willing to take a pay cut to move to Betis where he wants to play. And you guys want a joint ownership. Doesn't really work for me. Doesn't really work for the team either. It's clone pay over 2 years installments. 20 this year, 20 next year. We pay that money towards Cunha. And then we just got to fork out extra 22.5 million for the final year. But yeah, that's one way of doing it. So there's real interest from Betis. Como came in, I think, but he doesn't want to go there. He wants to actually go to Betis. So hopefully Betis can stop the money because at the moment we're not making much moves. There's been a quiet week for everything. We're just hearing rumors floating around. And I've said this previously. We started off brilliantly by signing Cunha and all of a sudden it just dropped. Transfers stalled. No idea why. I suppose we'll find out soon enough. With Sancho, there's interest from Napoli. I understand that there's been an offer made by Juventus of 25 million euros, which is just over 20 million pounds. But I'm not sure whether he wants to go to Juventus because Juventus are currently contemplating a pay package. I'm not sure if there's been an approach made, but Sancho's come out with that he's interested in going to play in Italy and interested in playing for Napoli, which might rule Juventus out totally. Obviously, he can join up with Scott McTominay, who we never should have got rid of, personally, but we have. So he could join Napoli, hopefully. But I know Napoli have stated that the pay is an issue. 300,000 plus a week. They're not willing to pay it. So Sancho would need to take a pay cut. But that greedy fucker won't take a pay cut. So I guess we're pretty much stuck with him for now. Because I don't see any other way of him moving unless he takes a pay cut. So we're in a sticky situation when it comes to Sancho. I know he's not interested in going off, doing his own thing. I know he wants to just bench warm, or not even that. He just wants to sit at home and get paid. Don't we all? I want to sit at home and get paid. I'd rather not do anything and still get money coming in. But this ain't one of them. I feel like you have to earn your money. I reckon we should have something in the contracts that state that if you're not selected or you don't want to play or you forfeit your wages, maybe. I was chatting to my mate Brian though, and he reckons we should release him and Rashford and Garnacho and just cut the losses. We save on the wages, but I did mention that we have to possibly pay out the rest of the contract. But he did want them to be released and that might be an option, but paying off the rest of the contract could get expensive for us in signing other players. But if Sancho's not willing to leave, it might be the option I'd go for. But obviously, I'm not United, so I'm not like the board of directors. I don't deal with transfers in and out. I just talk about them. But that's the problem we've got with Sancho's. With Garnacho as well, I've heard a rumour that he's making it hard for teams like Leverkusen due to the demands that he's making. Because he's interested in staying at the Premiership. I'm not sure if many Premiership teams have actually come in for him yet or spoke to him. But apparently, yeah, he doesn't want to move. He just wants to stay in the Prem. He doesn't want to go like to Italy or Germany or another country. He just wants to play in the Prem. And I don't think that's possible at the moment because I don't know anybody that's really. I know there was interest from West Ham, there was interest from Chelsea, there was interest from a few other teams, but nothing's coming to fruition. There's no one that really wants to take him off our hands at the moment. So that's another player that we're stuck with at the moment. And it's hard to make any moves in the transfer window, which this might be the reason the transfer window stalled. It's because these players just want to sit on their ass and just not move and not, just want to sit there, just get paid like we all want to. But in order for us to do business, we have to get rid of players to bring in players. And that's not really happening at this moment in time at all. There's Rashford, who's currently training in Marbella in Spain. He's probably just enjoying the weather, but I've seen a few clips of him training. Barca hasn't made an offer for him, although I know he's interested in going to Barca. He's even said he doesn't mind playing with Lamine Yamal, but with the Nico Williams situation, I don't think there's any room for Rashford to even go there now. There was interest from Newcastle, but I doubt he's going to go to Newcastle. So that's another player that we're currently stuck with. He has said if he does move to Barca, he will take a pay cut. Now, whether that is true or not, we'll see. But I guess with Barca not being interested, I don't think it'll happen. So he's there in Spain, sunning it up, and nobody really wants him. And it's like players like these, other than Anthony, because Anthony does want to actually move. There's interest from different teams. Actually, want Anthony because he went over to Betis on loan. He performed. He did really well for him. So there is room for. I know that there is room for him on another team. I know that he wants to move. There's a chance that he might move. So other than him, we're pretty much stuck with Sancho, Garnacho, and Rashford, and we just need to get rid of them because they're not really cutting it at our team. They're not going to even be in the lineup. They're not even going to be in the team at all. They're just going to be sitting there. I don't really want them to go out on loan because I want money to be generated so we can go out and buy other players. The loan thing ain't going to cut it. It might be another case of Sancho going to Chelsea, being greedy, sticking to his guns, sticking to the same wage. Chelsea saying, "Nah, we don't want him now. I'm paying us money to bring him back. What's the point?" And I'm sure he's got like a year left on his contract. So next year he'll be going for free. And I reckon that's what his plan is, just to screw us over and move for free. Or he might as well just retire and sit at home. But then he's not getting that 300,000 a week for doing nothing. And he's all right. The reason I talk negatively about him, and he has been mentioned that I talk negatively about him and Garnacho, is because I can't stand either of them. I cannot stand either of them. I can't stand Sancho because he's just wasting everybody's time. And I suppose it's our fault for buying him in the first place, but he's just wasting everybody's time. Garnacho has interest from abroad, but he doesn't want to go there. So he's trying to hold everybody over the barrel. But I think the difference is, though, I think Garnacho does want to actually play football. So he does want to actually play football. He wants to go out there and show what he's capable of. But whereas I don't see that all in Sancho, I think he just wants to just get paid for doing nothing. Like we all do, I suppose, from that point of view. From that standpoint, I see it like if I could get paid for sitting at home doing nothing, I would. I'm sure you would as well. So, yeah, we're not making any moves, whereas City bringing players in, Liverpool bringing players in. I'm sure Arsenal did the Zubimendi deal at some point this week, I think it was. So everybody's bringing in players slowly. And we're just stalling. We're just not even doing anything. I don't know whether you guys saw that Omar Barada interview in the United We Stand. He was asked questions about the transfers, and he said that they want to do it right. They want to make sure they're not wasting time and bringing in players that are not suitable for the team. They want to do it correctly. They don't want to overspend. They want us to win the title by at least 2028, or at least in contention for the title by 2028. And that's a fair point, but we need to know what is happening, because at the moment we got Mbuno just sitting there, and I did hear a rumor yesterday that we're going to put in a second offer next week or this week, as this will be on a Monday. So this week we're going to put in a second offer around the region of 60 to 65 million. So I'm hoping Brentford do accept that, and I'm hoping the second offer does go in. But I do think that we're actually waiting for the 1st of July, where the PSR gets transferred onto next year's financial records and not this year's. And I think we're waiting for that. It also helps that Apollo Tyres have renewed the sponsorship for 3 years. So that's more money for transfers, hopefully, unless obviously the Glazers and Ineos decide, no, we're not using it for that. I don't know how much the deal is. I don't know how much the sponsorship is. But I suppose that helps as well. And if that is the case, that we are waiting for the 1st of July, we should, I suppose, hear something over the next 12 days. And I'm hoping that is likely, although I do really want to, I did hear that second offer will probably go in the week coming. So I suppose we'll know where we stand with that. The last thing I want to discuss on the transfers is Onana. There's been interest from Monaco. Monaco are really interested in him. And I've been hearing different things on this. I've been hearing that he's not interested in going to Monaco. I've been interested that Monaco hasn't approached directly, so not really interested. Fabrizio said they're not interested. I've heard in the Metro that they are interested. So it's up in the air at the moment, whether there is interest or not. I know there was a few players that we were interested in. Emi Martinez we were interested in for 40 million, but I'm not sure if United want to pay 40 million. And also read in the Metro as well this morning that United have started talks with Marcus Konosecki from, I'm sure it's Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Atlanta goalkeeper. So there might be that might be some truth in that. I don't know. But after signing him for 47.2 million, Onana hasn't really cut it at United. And I think it's time that he does leave. But I reckon he's still in the team because we haven't found somebody to replace him. I'm sure if we find somebody to replace him, he'll be gone. But I reckon that's the only reason that he's still in the team, just because we haven't found somebody to replace him. And with talks going on with Emi Martinez, Marco Konosecki, which I've heard, which I haven't really heard from anybody else. I've only just read it in the Metro, so I'm not sure the truth behind it. It could just be a rumor. It is hopeful that he might leave, but chances are that he might not. It depends if he wants a pay cut as well. And that's the problem with paying over-inflated wages to these over-egotistical players that think they're God's gift. Is that once they don't work out, you're stuck with them, because nobody would come in and pay that. If I was going to take somebody, I'd pay them something. But if I was going to take them from another company that's paying them 12 million a year, I ain't going to pay them 12 million a year, especially when they haven't performed or performed to their capabilities that they can perform at. Because out of the 5 players I've just mentioned, Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford, Onana, and Anthony is the only one that went on loan, shined, and, and now there's proper, legit interest in him. He's made it back into the Brazil squad, so he's doing well. And he's the only one that I feel that potentially we can actually sell, because he has come out and actually stated that he's willing to take a pay cut to move to Betis. So we'll see. We'll really see. Now, let's move on to Premier League fixtures. So, United's first fixture is against Arsenal. And that's a tough one. I think I read in Opta that we've got the hardest fixture for the first 5 games. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I've spoken to a few people about this and what their predictions are and how they're going to start. I've had some people say they can see us winning 4 games and losing 1. I've had some people say that they don't really see us winning hardly any of them. I personally feel like we'll probably draw against Fulham with the current squad we've got now. This is not counting the players potentially coming in or players interested. If we make signings, then my opinion is going to change drastically. But with the current squad that we've got right now, which is pretty much the same squad we had last year, I feel like we'll draw against Fulham. We'll be, is it Burnley in a third game? And we'll lose against City, Chelsea and Arsenal. So we'll have 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses with the current squad we've got now. And I know that he's got a full preseason with him, but I don't see these players being at the level the old United team were at. This is really dropped down in level. It's last year, other than Ahmad, Bruno, and maybe a few bright sparks here and there from certain players on the pitch, there wasn't Heaven. He's shown as well when he started. Euro, he did well. But other than like the few players, I don't really see the other players performing very well. And the same could be said for this year. Xerxes, I gotta give him praise as well. Xerxes, after we got booed off at Newcastle, when he come off against Newcastle, he come in, totally changed and did well. So yeah, there's a few players that are potentially, are good enough, but then there's some, but they're not United level. They're good enough, but not level. Other than Bruno and Ahmad, they're not United level. And Cunha now, yes, he is. He's come in. I think he'll do well. If you get Mbumo, brilliant. But with the current squad we got now, minus Mbumo, I think we'll potentially finish the first 5 games with 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses. And I know it's hard for me to say that because I want us to do well, but we'll see. I mean, I might revisit this later down the line because our first preseason game isn't until 19th of July. So I might visit this further down the line. Maybe by then we'd have brought more players in. And if we have, we'll see how the squad lines up. We'll see how they do in preseason. And my mind might change and I'll probably revisit this and I'll probably talk about it again. But currently, my mind says 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses. I know some of the people I've spoken to, one of them said 4 wins, 1. I think that was Brian. He said 4 wins, 1 loss. There's other people I've spoken to who said 3 wins, 2 losses. Another person said 1 win, 2 draw, 2 losses. I've had some say 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. So it varies, but my opinion is 1 draw, 1 win, 3 losses. And it's hard for me to say that because, it's my team. It's somebody I support, but not with the current squad we've got now. And I suppose it all kicks off on the 17th of August, so we ain't got long to wait. I would say just under 2 months. So if you look at it like that, could kick off at any time. But I suppose this week will show us who we bring in, who we take out. And I think we'll understand more. But I personally, I think we'll understand more by next Friday. So when the next weekend comes, I should be able to have hopefully positive updates, but time will tell. But for now, see you later.